Good evening, everyone. My name is Cristian Ballester, and alongside my team, Kevin Linera, Grace Fernandez, Luis Ortiz, Jose Torres, and Reynel Gonzalez, plan to present to you the Eduk Planner in its final phase. As we've briefly touched on before, the Educa Team project is aimed at students that are either in high school or seeking higher forms of education, meaning college or otherwise, and it be focused on decreasing the dropout percentage and supporting educational development. We'd like for the system to help these students to focus on improving task management. Information. The structure of a general planner usually helps us with the effectiveness of managing tasks. However, usually planners aren't really structured in a way that suits students. Therefore, we need to port over the basic functionalities of a planner and make it follow a structure that understands what students need to go through in order to ease their problems with organization. So for the DS, we had the system save the events from calendar and to-do list together. So later on, we could add them to a separate area that could display the events all together. We separated the UI in two main parts, meaning the calendar and the to-do list. And we've created buttons that edit the functions for both these entities. We've also managed to migrate the local server and database to cloud services like Azure. What this planner needed to do is keep track of important dates, study breaks, and increase the productivity of students. We also needed a random quote generator, which would basically, every time the student logged in, it would provide a random motivational quote that would help keep the student motivated on their task at hand. It would have a login system that allowed the user to have profiles where they could add their own personal scheduler. We've implemented a ways to keep track of their courses and grades. You needed to have the functionality to modify tasks and event information for both the calendar and the to-do list, and the system should save the events in the remote database.
Implicit and derived goals, less procrastination, keep users organized, recreate time of key actions, increase the productivity, either improve the performance in course or life. Descriptive rough sketches. These are the primary and main ideas we base our project. Domain description. The first encounter of the system and the user is a login. Students or an institution focused on educational system will be the principal users and stakeholders of the system. After the system finishes its login process, domain changes to be time management. It is because the main focus of the system will be making the calendar functional and all the task management features, including to-do list, quotes, and events indicator. Terminology. Some of our terms will be students that are entities, primarily persons enrolled in the school, and our stakeholders. Dates are entities. They will follow the next formats like months, dates, and year. Calendar are entities that is not a short series of pages that will provide important dates, student time, or seasonal information. Motivational quotes generator is a function that generates a random quote for each day of the year. Event indicator. It's a function that will change in color of the event depending the type of the event, that is work, study, or a relaxed time. To-do list are entities where the user have the action to create a list of things that they want to get done or they need to get done.
The domain functions. Some of our general functions for the project are quote generator, which generates a more random motivational quote for each day. The load, which loads the entire calendar in order to be according to real time. The close model, which is the function for closing or helping the cancel button to work. The save event, which is saves in the local database the user's information, which he types in. The delete event, which functions to eliminate the events and tasks. The login, which allows the entry of the students who already made the sign up process. The sign up, which is the process of creating the account. And the event for day, which indicates an event is to study, work, or relax with the colors red, blue, and green respectively.
For the domain requirements, The system should obligate the user to authenticate before accessing the web application. When the system flags that a week is really stressful and occupied, there would be a prompt motivational quote around the web application that motivates the student to continue studying. The system should provide a to-do list tracker with things that don't necessarily need to be in the calendar, meaning things that need to be done but don't have a set due date. For interface requirements, the system shall provide a form to capture assigned task. Tasks might change, that's why the system shall provide a form to edit assigned tasks to. The system shall provide a calendar section to assign tasks at a given date, and the system shall provide a to-do list section for the students to add tasks that need to be done throughout the day, or without a certain due date, just tasks that could be notes or things that you want to write down. For the interface, we also wanted to have a good user interface design to help the end user navigate through our app easily and input data more easily and have a better user experience. For the machine requirements, we also thought about user experience, thinking about the waiting boot time, data confidentiality. The system should have a secure and private way to store the user's information. We also implemented a login system that has a secure authentication system where the user feels safe to put a sensitive information. We currently have a database with the login system and have a local storage system for the calendar and to-do list implementation. For the to-do list, I want to showcase some of the functions we've implemented to create the entity. The add to function receives an event and adds it to the to-do list user interface. The event is an input given by the user and it's added to the display to have the text display below the cross mark. The save local to-dos function adds all of the to-do events to the local storage of the user's computers, and the get to-do displays all of the to-do events stored in the local storage and displays it on the screen. The remove local to-dos removes a to-do event from the list when a user wants to remove it or has completed the task already.
For the task managers, here we can see the task manager entity, which loads all the functions for the task manager. As you can see right here, this is the code. This is all the functions, and on the right here, we can see a picture of how the task manager looks. It looks in the website. For the implementation, we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We use the friendly user interface. We allow the operation of all the functions of the system, and we allow the users to schedule and manage the events. We also use the PHP database for a database which stores the information locally to further improve the utility.
Hi. So here we have our web apps interface. We have our to-do list, our task manager, and our calendar. We liked it to keep it this way, very minimalistic look, and our functionality is very close together because it was easier for the students and it's also easier for us to work on them because we don't have to keep changing pages to check for each functionality. So we decided to go this route and have very bright colors because it also helps our students see colors that are not very dark and gloomy, and we think it's actually a good approach for them. Here we have our collaboration strategies, or some of them really. Jira is one of the tools we used to help each other and figure out what needed to be done with each sprint of our project. It was really helpful, and aside from Jira, we use WhatsApp to keep on top of each other and on deadlines and stuff like that. So that's basically it. That's our project, our Eduk planner. I hope you liked it, and thanks for your attention.